Hi everyone, I'm Chris Hernandez with the Weekly Report, your look at news from the city of Kansas City, Missouri. We're right across the street from Kansas City Police Headquarters downtown. They're just across from City Hall. There have been a lot of discussions lately about how to fight violent crime in Kansas City. In fact, last week, Missouri Governor Mike Parson was in town, and he joined the mayor, Sly James, for a visit to the East Patrol campus, which has the new police station and the regional crime lab. And there they joined with other leaders, including the Jackson County prosecutor.
Well, of course, the meeting that I was in, we talked about crime, Kansas City's crime rate, that we're not hopeless about Kansas City's crime rate, and we sure don't want our governor to be hopeless about that. We have felt like we have made some great strides in that area. Our numbers are still high. Kansas City has gone, as the rest of the nation has gone, in this upward trend of violence. However, Kansas City has a lot of really positive things going for it. And that's really what we talked about today.
The governor's visit focused on team building, which was perfect for a stop at the Urban Youth Baseball Academy. St. Louis Mayor Lyda Krewson was along for the day as well.
I have to tell you, this is so thrilling to be here, first of all, in Kansas City and seeing so many great things that you have going on here. And that I know is thanks to your leadership here and Mayor Sly James, but also thanks to the Kansas City Royals and all the folks who made this facility possible. I commented on, as we were walking across the field today, we were talking about team building. That's what the three of us are doing here today. We're here building a team to be able to help all of the residents of our state.
The governor has been very good, very gracious in allocating time to come and spend an entire day in Kansas City. And then later we'll all go spend an entire day in St. Louis, and then we'll also spend an entire day in a rural area of the state, so that we can learn from each other, benefit by each other's knowledge, and to make sure that we are closing the gap between those who have one belief and those who have another, those who live in one place and those who live in another. Because at the end of the day, we are all one state.
One of my main goals as governor of the state of Missouri is to give these kids the opportunity that me and these two mayors have had in our lifetimes. And the way we do that is by offering these opportunities at facilities like this, to teach them new skills, to teach them how to grow up together, to how to be teams, how to be optimistic about the future, of how things are going to be. And that's what we're here today. How do we make it better for Missourians' lives day in and day out? I think it's important to realize too, there will be differences in some of our opinions as we move forward with me and both of these mayors. But I guarantee you there'll be many more times that we will agree with one another trying to make this state better for the people of this state. And I look forward to working with both of them.
Here at City Hall, getting your opinion is always important, especially when it comes to the budget. So we want to know what your priority is. Is it public safety, like we've been discussing, or is it something else? Let us know at an upcoming resident work session. That's where you can actually play a game called Pick Your Priority, and you'll be doing it with city budget staff. Tell us what's important to you. Is it infrastructure or public safety or neighborhoods or housing? Your input will help shape next year's city budget. So now we need to know who's coming, so be sure to RSVP for one of these dates. Join us on August 23rd from noon to 2 p.m. at the Liberty Memorial, Saturday, August 25th from 9 to 11 a.m. at the Southeast Community Center, 4201 East 63rd Street in Swope Park, or Tuesday, August 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Briarcliff Church, located at 800 Northeast Vivian Road. You can email finance@kcmo.org, or you can call 816-513-1173 to reserve your spot. Taking care of the roads and adding new bike lanes are at the top of the priority list for many of our residents. And we have a lot of projects like that going in all over town. We're doing all of that, plus adding storm drains to a project that is actually a relocation of Northwest Prairie View Road to North Chatham Avenue. This project is partially funded by PIAC and will be completed in spring of 2019. And if you want to see a PIAC program in your neighborhood, now is the time to apply. We are taking applications until August 31st. Please join us also at any one of the citywide PIAC hearings. They'll be held on Friday, August 24th from 9:30 to noon in the City Hall 10th floor committee room. Another one is Tuesday, August 28th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Grace and Holy Trinity Cathedral at 415 West 13th Street, right in the heart of downtown. Also Wednesday, August 29th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Northland Neighborhoods Office at 4420 Northeast Choteau Trafficway. And Thursday, August 30th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Hillcrest Community Center in South Kansas City, located at 10401 Hillcrest Road. And we just cut the ribbon on a brand new bike lane project. It's the first of its kind. It's on Armour Boulevard and it's parking protected bike lanes. Be sure to watch this video as well as other news from across the city, and thank you for watching the Weekly Report.
One more of that?
Sure.
Okay.
Try to do it just like that, sort of more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only good this time.
Only good this time.
This is the first protected bike lanes here in Kansas City. This is what I believe is really transformational for our city and for the community.
This project immediately makes all of those schools and the surrounding space around them so much safer.
This isn't just with respect to Jolie, a 4th District project. This is something that crosses Troost. This is something that gets all throughout the city. And this is something that every community deserves.
It's a signal to the world that Kansas City is a multimodal transportation city.
You guys did this. Get ready because we're going to start doing this all over town because of your hard work.
3, 2, 1. There you go.
To redevelop the Linwood Shopping Center was sort of like a revitalization of the soul of the neighborhood, because this was sort of the center of the black community for a long time. 40 years ago, when the hospital was still here, you used to have Mooney's across the street, and there were a lot of little small shops over there. That's where all the black community was going to do their thing, to cut their politics, to talk about what happened in church last week or what's going on in the community. That's where everything was happening.
The St. Joe Hospital made the community vibrant because having 800 employees, they were doing business around the neighborhood. They closed and left a big mess. So we asked, especially the ladies in this community, what do you want to see here? And they all said a shopping center. And we want a grocery store that we can be proud of. Our first store started moving in 1987. Well, it started to decline because of poor management, especially on the part of the grocery store. Ultimately, it closed in 2007. So for 10 years, the shopping center was basically empty.
It is so good to see all of you all here today for this, the brand new Lapari Brothers Sunfresh grocery store right here at Linwood and Prospect. Grand opening.
Rebuilding this shopping center in a way was rebirthing this community. The neighborhood had been pushing for a grocery store back in the urban core.
Welcome to our community.
We wouldn't give up. As a food desert, our residents were taking money out of the community. Some people didn't have cars. We had a very hard time ensuring people were getting the proper nutritious fruits and vegetables.
Every community deserves a full-service grocery store, and it doesn't matter what zip code you live in. It is an essential need of basic life, and you should have access to healthy food choices and not necessarily having to depend on a convenience store to get your food.
I don't think people have recognized the value that exists in our community. You have a lot of folks say we'll do grocery stores on the edge, but we're not going to go right in the heart. There are people here who eat every day, right? People that deserve a place where you can shop and feel safe. And so that's why government had to be part of this.
We have been talking a lot about the problems of getting fresh food on the east side of Troost and what that meant in terms of health, the burden of travel. I'd always thought that Linwood Shopping Center could have a catalytic impact. We needed more economic activity that provided jobs and opportunities. Ultimately, we decided that the only way that we were going to get it done was for the city to buy it itself and act as a co-developer.
When the city took it on, we hired a firm to do market analysis and looked at a 5-mile radius with Linwood Shopping Center in the middle. We found that about 45% of all the income for groceries and food, etc., leaked out of the area. That told us that there was a market here for a new grocery store.
What we try to do is take a problem and then craft a solution. How do you provide a first-class grocery store that could be successful economically? Really, it's a partnership that was really a win-win-win for everybody. You take tax increment financing, you put the city's resources on the front end to bond the project, sell the bonds up front to get it built, and then you work with a partner to attract additional retail tenants, and then you put a tip district in place to capture all the incremental revenues to flow back in to service the bond.
To my knowledge, we've not done this elsewhere, but we knew the only way that this was going to get done was if we took that extraordinary step.
I made it clear to the developers and the builders that we got them have a nice looking quality grocery store. In March of 2017, we had a demolition groundbreaking where we demolished the old store.
When we were putting this all together, we worked as a team. This is meant to be a first-class operation all the way.
Beginning of a new day. 1, 2, 3.
We literally took out the footprint of the old store and put a brand new footing in, new foundation, new floor, everything, and then built it up. We needed to give it a fresh new look, a fresh everything.
My goal at the very beginning was I wanted to walk into this Sunfresh and think I was anywhere else in the metropolitan area. I needed a proven grocer, which we were able to identify with John and Pamela Pari. A partnership, Don Maxwell was a key component. He owned the property here. And you've got to have a city council that's fundamentally supportive of all this in order to get it done.
I've served as a vocal advocate to ensure that this project take place. But one of the major impacts is the jobs that it provides to the citizens here in the community.
Hi, baby, y'all ready?
I'm really glad that they actually gave me a chance, to be a part of something so big.
We hired 100 people, and they're all from right around the area.
Every one of them.
And the majority of them walk to work. We're here as a family, and we want to be that way with everybody that comes in here. We want to know their names. We want to talk about their kids.
And I think people were very surprised when they saw this for the first time and what the store has to offer.
When you transform the physical environment, people come by and they go, wow, there's a lot of people spending money. I've heard Don say ghetto or gold mine, it's your choice. It's a gold mine. We just got to get other people recognizing it.
I'm very proud of what we've been able to accomplish.
I want to thank the crowd for being here today.
But without a lot of collaboration and support from the community, you can't get something like this done.
We really would like to see the community come back. The results of the grocery store say that we were moving in the right direction.
This is saying that you, the community, matter. You as customers matter.
I hope that the people who really appreciate having the store back will insist that the store stay there by paying attention to what's going on and holding people accountable when they're not doing the right thing.
I'm hopeful as we move forward that this helps us build on that positive momentum and the pride that we as a community will take from this store.
I'm proud of this. It was something that I wanted to really, really get done, and I wanted it to be as good looking as it's looking now. As folks were coming in, just to see their faces and then hear the comments.
This is a beautiful thing. This is the first time we have had a decent store.
I can only say they just dropped the mic.
Let's welcome the Lepari Brothers Sunfresh grocery store. 1, 2, 3.
For over 20 years, the Charlotte Street Foundation has been supporting artists and the art community in Kansas City, and today we are at La Esquina Gallery, one of their many venues, and today we are with Amy Kligman, the Executive Arts Director here at Charlotte Street, and Pat Alexander, who is the Programming Manager. So today I would love to talk, if you could talk about the Charlotte Street Foundation, give me some general information, and maybe Pat, you could talk about the La Esquina Gallery in particular.
So Charlotte Street is an organization that, as you said, has been around for 20 years. We primarily are here to stoke and cultivate the arts ecology of Kansas City, and we choose to do that by providing direct support to its artists. We have a residency program. We have, as you mentioned, several venues. La Esquina is one of them, and we also provide grant money directly to artists.
Yeah, and La Esquina would be one of these many venues that are opportunities for exhibitions. So there's an open call process that's been going on for the last 11 years where artists or curators can make proposals for different projects, maybe not just visual exhibitions, but performances or festivals and things like that that can just kind of add to the arts ecosystem here in Kansas City.
So you have All Terrain up right now as your current exhibit. Do you have any more programming you're working towards for the summer or the rest of the year?
Yes, of course. So All Terrain is an exhibit that will be up through August 11th, and that exhibit features artists in our residency program. So this is an entirely local show, and it was curated by Radar, which is a curatorial project of Madeline Glucci's. Past that, our next exhibition will be Welcome to the Neighborhood, which is happening towards the end of August. That exhibition is actually also entirely local, but is happening during the window of open spaces. And the goal and the hope is to be highlighting artists in the Kansas City area, talking about their experience living as an artist in the Midwest. So we're excited to be presenting that work. It'll be a larger group show. And then later in the year, we have Fountain Verse, which is a small press and poetry festival, and that's a 3-day festival that'll be happening also during the winter open spaces.
You have some amazing range of festivals and productions and exhibits. Do you have a range of attendance as well? Could you talk about attendees and possibly where they come from in the region or local, national?
Sure. I mean, because the organization's been around for 21 years, we definitely have a lot of attendance from other artists. So there's a great community here for that and that support. But for each show, they have distinct groups that come through, and some shows when there are regional and national artists, it will pull in other artists. So like when we did the show this last summer was an exchange with Oakland and Kansas City galleries. So the Oakland artists were able to come to Kansas City and install the work and meet the artist working in Kansas City, and then vice versa. We took the show to Oakland and had it in their gallery, and the artists got to go meet with them, and we toured that area. So it's different for every show, but it's always open to the public when it's an exhibition, so anybody, groups can come as well.
And how can people find out more about these great exhibitions and programs?
The primary place to look would be charlottestreet.org. It's our website, also our Facebook page.
Great. Thank you so much for having us here at this beautiful gallery.
Thank you, and enjoy the show.
The Neighborhood Tourist Development Fund supports local nonprofits that bring cultural, social, educational, and recreational activities to our area. To learn about additional upcoming events, visit kcmo.gov/ntdf.